Hey guys, I'm just making sure it's recording. Good. We're talking about back-end development today. So last class we looked at front-end development, which was essentially what the user sees and looks at. So we did things like mock-up, wireframe, all that sort of stuff, and sitemap was the other one. It was basically what the user sees and how they interact with the site. Now the back-end is what goes on behind the scenes that makes the website work. Now, there's a couple of things we're going to be talking about today. We've got data, e-commerce, and spreadsheets. So what is that? Well, essentially, it's a collection of information that in its raw form is essentially, it's not particularly useful, but then once it gets processed and becomes information, it becomes very valuable. All right. So data can be collected in a whole bunch of ways. So you probably know data from math class. You're probably doing stats, right, and making graphs out of it, for example. That is one form of data being made into information, being a graph. More importantly, when we talk about using data for websites, we talk about things like Google Analytics. And we're going to talk about the way e-commerce sites work. Oops, I need to open that. So what is e-commerce? Essentially, it's online transactions is probably the best way to sum it up. So whenever you use your credit card to order Uber Eats or clothes or some electronics, that is considered to be e-commerce because it's paying and trading through the internet. All right. Now, it first started 50 years ago through a company called CompuServe. It was not particularly popular then, considering computers were the size of this room. But, they saw the future benefits of how it worked. Now, the first online transaction was made in 1972. In 1979, Michael Aldrich invented online shopping. And then in 1990, the first web browser actually appeared that everybody could get access to. So before then, it was mostly used for government stuff, military stuff, hobbyists. There wasn't really a widely used internet. Okay, so the companies Amazon and eBay were launched in 1995. You've probably heard of it. PayPal came in 1998, and they were a secure online payment system. Amazon Prime came in, which is a free shipping service, which focused on the idea that if you offer free shipping, that customers will buy more. In 2011, the Google Wallet was launched. In 2014, Apple Pay. 2015, Pinterest became an e-commerce solution by adding buyable pins, and in 2018, Instagram shoppable posts and stories appeared. So a lot of things that were not e-commerce sites pivoted to an e-commerce site when they saw how valuable it could be. So how does it work? Well, let's say a customer tries to book something online. The web browser communicates between the person who's booking and the server or the cloud store, the cloud server. All right, so one of those, and it communicates back and forth and makes the booking. All right. So the order gets sent through to the order manager, all right, which is I guess whatever program manages the bookings. It has a look at and make sure that the booking's available and all that sort of stuff, and and checks that it's in stock. Then it locks in the purchase, and it subtracts one from the stock, and then it goes through to the delivery stuff. All right. So you've probably seen something like this before. Sorry, let me open that up. All right. So let's say you wanted to get this little speaker, and see how it says out of stock there. That's managed by an online sort of stock manager program. Right? Okay. So if the program is not in stock, the stock database can order new supplies, which means that it goes, okay, well, people clearly still want this thing that's sold out, so let's get more. Doesn't necessarily do that, by the way. It's a possibility. Checks when the stock will be in, and then assuming that the people want them, the order manager can actually process it. It can even take payments through the website still and process the order and let you know when it's coming through, and then you put all your payment info in. Right. So then once you've done that, you put in your credit card details, which sends a request to your bank's computer, which checks if you have enough money and authorizes the transaction. The order manager then confirms the transaction, and then the web server shows the customer a page that says like order submitted or something like that, right? Something like this. So then the order manager sends a request to the warehouse to dispatch the goods. There's also usually a receipt that gets processed as part of that and comes to you usually through email. So what I would like you to do is to draw a diagram depicting this e-commerce process. So you might have to go back through and read through some of that stuff. To have a look at that process, update, right? Depicting how this works. Draw it on paper, and then take a picture of it and stick it up on OneNote. I'm going to push out a blank page to you. All right. So this is one idea of how it could possibly work, right? I mean, you can try and come up with your own. All right. So that's one idea. So if you need a bit of help, have a look at that as well as on the OneNote. I'm going to push out this page to you now. What am I going to call it? Or do I already have a page? Yeah. Okay, you can check up on this page here. So just submit it on this one here. I'm just going to push this out to all of you via Classmate. Once it eventually loads to your page. All right, I'm going to push that out. You don't have to watch me do this. I'll push it out to introduction, and you can do your hand drawing, or if you want to draw it on OneNote, you can too, and then submit it up on there. Okay. If you have any questions, jump back into the Zoom and ask. Otherwise, have a terrific day.